Neighbor, if you're brand new to growing flowers and you're worried you might kill every plant you touch, don't stress. We've all been there. The good news is there are some flowers that are extremely easy to grow. So easy that you can simply sprinkle the seeds on the soil, water lightly, walk away. And a few days later, tiny green sprouts will pop up as if they grew themselves. Have you ever wondered what the easiest, most foolproof way to grow flowers is? Let me help you with that. Start with seeds and choose the right beginner-friendly varieties. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 of the most beautiful and easiest flowers to grow. Perfect for beginners, small balconies, tiny patios, or any little corner you want to fill with color. If you're ready, then let's get started, neighbor. If there is one flower that was truly made for beginners, it's the zinnia. Neighbor, this is the kind of flower that asks so little from you. Just a bit of soil, a bit of sunshine, and a little patience, but gives back more color, more joy, and more confidence than you can imagine. Zinnias don't just grow, they flourish with a kind of boldness that makes even first-time gardeners feel like they've been doing this for years. What makes them especially beginner-friendly is how simple the sowing process is. The seeds are large and easy to handle, and all you need to do is press them about ½ an inch into the soil. Give them a gentle watering, and let the warmth of the sun take care of the rest. In warm weather, the seedlings rise quickly, straight, sturdy, and full of promise. Zinnias thrive in strong sunlight. The more sun they receive, the sturdier the stems become, and the bigger their blooms will be. When planting directly in the ground, giving each plant enough space helps them grow evenly without competing with one another. And if you're growing them in containers, a pot about 10–12 inches deep is more than enough for their roots to settle comfortably. Once your plant reaches about 6 to 8 inches tall, pinching the tip encourages branching. More branches mean more blooms, and that's why zinnias can flower non-stop from early summer all the way into fall. Their watering needs are simple. Keep the soil lightly moist without over-soaking, as they don't enjoy sitting in water. But the magic of zinnias lies in this. The more you cut, the more they bloom. Each time you bring a flower indoors, the plant responds with even more buds. It's a generous, joyful cycle. If you want to start your gardening journey with a flower that is beautiful, forgiving, and instantly rewarding, zinnias are the perfect choice. The second flower I have to mention, because it wins the hearts of beginners so effortlessly, is the cosmos. Cosmos has a way of bringing softness into any garden. While zinnias burst with bold color, cosmos offers something gentler. Airy foliage that moves like feathers in the breeze, and blooms that float above the stems like tiny, delicate stars. Neighbor, if you've ever dreamed of that romantic cottage garden look, cosmos is the flower that will give it to you without asking for much in return. Sowing cosmos is wonderfully simple. Their seeds are long and slender, and you only need to press them lightly into the soil, barely covered, just enough so the wind doesn't take them. Warm soil and light watering are all they need to germinate. Once they sprout, they grow quickly, stretching upward with grace. Cosmos thrives in full sun, but they don't demand rich soil. In fact, if the soil is too fertile, they may grow tall with fewer flowers. Ordinary, well-draining soil works beautifully. Taller varieties can reach 3 or even 4 feet, so spacing them generously helps prevent overcrowding. If you're growing them in windy areas, planting several close together allows them to support one another naturally. Watering is simple. Just keep the soil slightly moist in the beginning, then ease off once the plants establish. And here's a small trick. Pinch the young plants when they reach 6 inches. This encourages branching and rewards you with even more blooms throughout the season. Cosmos is the kind of flower that asks for almost nothing, yet gives your garden lightness, movement, and a softness that feels almost poetic. Next, we move on to a flower that doesn't just brighten your garden, it protects it. And that flower is the marigold. Marigolds are the kind of flowers that feel almost too good to be true for beginners. They are bold, cheerful, incredibly forgiving, and they play double duty. They make your garden beautiful while quietly guarding your vegetables from pests like rabbits, deer, and even certain insects. It's no wonder so many gardeners plant marigolds long before they learn to grow anything else. Growing them from seed is wonderfully simple. The seeds are long, lightweight, and easy to sprinkle. Press them gently into the soil, water lightly, and give them warmth. That's it. Within a few days, tiny seedlings rise with surprising speed. Marigolds enjoy full sun, and the more light they get, the more compact and floriferous they become. What makes marigolds even more appealing is their flexibility. You can choose petite varieties for containers and window boxes, or taller varieties for borders and vegetable beds. Their colors range from deep amber and golden yellow to creamy ivory and even strawberry blonde tones. Whichever type you choose, they will bloom generously all season long. Watering is minimal. Just keep the soil slightly moist in the beginning. Then water deeply but less frequently once the plants are established. They tolerate heat exceptionally well and stay vibrant even when other flowers begin to fade. Marigolds are the kind of flowers that make beginners feel safe and experienced gardeners feel grateful. Colorful, useful, and unbelievably easy. They're a must-have in any garden that values both beauty and practicality. Now, let's talk about a flower that surprises almost everyone who grows it, the nasturtium. Nasturtiums are one of those flowers that quietly steal the spotlight. At first glance, they seem simple, maybe even ordinary. But give them a few weeks, and they'll spill over the edges of your pots with bright, cheerful blooms and round, lily-pad-like leaves that catch the light beautifully. Neighbor, if you want a plant that feels both wild and elegant, nasturtium is exactly that. Growing them from seed is delightfully easy. Their seeds are large and round, almost like tiny nuts, which makes them perfect for beginners who don't want to deal with tiny, hard-to-handle seeds. You only need to tuck them about an inch deep into the soil, water thoroughly once, and then step back. Warm weather does the rest. In just a short time, you'll see sturdy seedlings pushing their way upward. Nasturtiums love full sun, but actually prefer poorer soil. Rich soil makes them produce more leaves than flowers, so ordinary garden soil works best. Their trailing or bushy habit makes them perfect for containers, hanging baskets, borders, and even as companion plants in the vegetable garden. They naturally repel some pests and attract beneficial insects that help keep your garden balanced. Watering is simple. Keep the soil slightly moist while the plants are young. Then reduce watering once they mature. They tolerate heat, but may slow down during the hottest part of summer. However, as soon as temperatures cool, they burst back to life with a fresh wave of blooms. And here's a charming bonus. Nasturtium flowers and leaves are edible, with a peppery flavor that adds a beautiful touch to salads. For beginners who want a plant that grows easily, spills gracefully, and tastes as lovely as it looks, nasturtium is a wonderful choice. Now for something tiny, fragrant, and unexpectedly magical, the alyssum. Alyssum may be one of the smallest flowers you'll ever grow, but don't let its size fool you. When it blooms, it forms a soft, cloud-like carpet that spills gently over pots, borders, pathways, and window boxes. Neighbor, if you've ever wished for a flower that adds charm without demanding attention, Alyssum is that gentle touch your garden needs. The seeds are incredibly tiny, almost like grains of dust. But don't worry. Growing them is far easier than you might expect. All you need to do is scatter them lightly across the surface of the soil. No digging, no pressing, no fuss. Just a fine mist of water and a bit of sunlight. Within a few days, you'll notice a sprinkle of green specks emerging as the seedlings anchor themselves. Alyssum thrives in cooler weather, which makes it perfect for early spring or fall plantings. Once established, it handles heat surprisingly well, continuing to bloom as long as it receives enough moisture. Full sun is ideal, but partial shade still allows it to flourish. In containers, Alyssum works beautifully as a spiller, cascading gently down the sides. In garden beds, it fills gaps between larger plants, softening the landscape and adding a sweet, honey-like fragrance that attracts bees and butterflies. Watering is simple. Keep the soil lightly moist, especially while the plants are young. As they mature, they become more drought-tolerant, needing only occasional watering. Alyssum may be tiny, but it creates a magical, peaceful presence, like a quiet whisper of color across your garden. For beginners, it's one of the easiest and most rewarding flowers to grow. Now let's turn to a flower that feels like pure happiness. The sunflower. Sunflowers are the kind of flowers that make you smile the moment you see them. Bold, bright, and full of personality, they bring an instant burst of joy to any space, whether it's a tiny balcony or a large backyard. Neighbor, if you want a flower that grows with confidence and rewards you with giant, cheerful faces, the sunflower is your perfect companion. Growing sunflowers from seed is almost effortless. The seeds are large, easy to hold, and simple to plant. Press them about an inch deep into warm soil. Water once to settle the earth, and step back. In just a short time, you'll see sturdy shoots rising like little soldiers ready to greet the sun. Sunflowers crave light. The more, the better. They naturally turn their faces toward the sun, so place them somewhere you can enjoy that beautiful movement. Ordinary soil works fine, as long as it drains well. And remember, there are many types. Tall varieties that grow like towering giants, medium ones perfect for borders, and compact dwarf varieties made specifically for containers. If you're growing in pots, choose a deep, stable container so the roots can anchor firmly. Water deeply but infrequently, allowing the soil to dry slightly between sessions. Once established, sunflowers tolerate heat incredibly well. One small tip: if you choose branching varieties, you'll get multiple blooms from one plant, a mini bouquet growing right in your garden. Sunflowers radiate positivity. They're simple to grow, stunning to look at, and they bring warmth into any garden, big or small. And finally, let's end with a flower that never seems to stop blooming. The Gomphrena. Gomphrena, often called globe amaranth, is one of those flowers that stays vibrant long after others start to fade. Its round, papery blooms look like tiny colored lanterns scattered across the garden, shining steadily through heat, wind, and long dry spells. Neighbor, if you want a flower that asks for almost nothing, yet gives endlessly, Gomphrena is that quiet, dependable friend. Growing it from seed is simple, though the seeds appreciate a little preparation. Soaking them for a few hours or overnight helps them sprout faster. After that, just press them slightly into the soil, give a gentle watering, and let the warmth do the rest. Once seedlings appear, they grow steadily without fuss. Gomphrena thrives in full sun and poor soil, making it one of the easiest flowers for hot climates or dry areas. It doesn't need rich soil or frequent fertilizer. In fact, too much care only makes it leafy instead of floriferous. Give it sunlight, give it space, and it will bloom tirelessly from midsummer until the first frost. This flower's strength is also its beauty. The blooms don't fade easily, they don't wilt quickly, and they hold their color even when dried. Which is why Gomphrena is a favorite for dried arrangements and crafts. One plant can produce dozens upon dozens of blooms, each one firm, cheerful, and surprisingly long-lasting. For a beginner who wants a flower that refuses to quit, Gomphrena is the perfect finale. It's bright, tough, and always blooming. A reminder that even the smallest flowers can have the strongest spirit. And before we move on, neighbor, let's talk about something many beginners struggle with. What if you live in a small apartment or have only a tiny corner for gardening? The truth is, you don't need a big yard to grow flowers beautifully. Even the smallest balcony, a narrow walkway, or a sunny windowsill can become a mini garden bursting with color, if you choose the right methods. For apartment gardeners, containers are your best friends. A simple 8 to 12-inch pot is enough for zinnias, marigolds, alyssum, and even compact sunflowers. Choose lightweight pots with drainage holes and place them somewhere that gets at least 4 to 6 hours of sun. If your balcony is shaded, use reflective boards or position the pots where the light bounces naturally. Vertical space matters too. You can stack pots, use railing planters, or hang baskets filled with alyssum or nasturtiums to make use of every inch. Small spaces thrive when plants grow upward or cascade downward instead of spreading sideways. For very hot balconies, morning sun is ideal. Water deeply but less frequently, and add a thin layer of mulch to keep pots cool. And here's the best part. Small gardens bloom faster because you see everything up close. Every sprout, every bud, every flower. Even a single pot can feel like your own private oasis. Neighbor, these 7 flowers I shared with you today are the exact ones I planted when I first started gardening. Simple, beautiful, and incredibly easy to care for, especially for someone older like me. If I could grow them back then with zero experience, I promise you can too. Just choose one flower, one pot, one sunny spot. That's all it takes to begin. If you enjoyed this guide and want more easy gardening tips, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video, neighbor.